I am as inspired, I'm as hopeful as I have ever been in my life. And tonight's loss does nothing to diminish the way that I feel about Texas or this country.
Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke last week after Ted Cruz defeated him in the Texas Senate race. But could he win by losing? Democrats across the country say the former Texas Senate candidate has the potential to take the 2020 presidential primaries by storm. What do you think?
Look, it might be unusual for somebody to have lost a Senate race to run for president, but he actually, in my view, didn't lose this race because he only lost by a couple points in Texas against Ted Cruz in a state that is solidly red, which is obviously trending more blue now at this point. But look, if he wants to run, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who wants to run in the Democratic primary should. You know, I think he does because he has such a national name ID, huge recognition. He's a very inspirational figure. I think a lot of people are really looking for somebody to inspire them. Mm-hmm. I also think it's not bad when you don't have a huge voting record. He only served in Congress, I think, for a term, right? Or maybe 2 terms. So he's got, you know, he's still...
Less baggage.
Yeah, less baggage. And he's just got this huge force of supporters throughout the country who are with him.
You know, and he had a lot of money, and certainly... It's no less crazy than a businessman who's never held elective office named Donald Trump to run and win.
Yeah.
Part of it is he's a fresh face. Part of it is he raised a boatload of money, I think more money than any Senate candidate in history.
$38 million in
He
Q3.
came close to winning Texas,
right.
although he did lose the race. In 2000, when Republicans went to Texas to get George W. Bush to run, he had become a 2-term governor in a state with a heavy Hispanic population. That's why they wanted him to run. This guy lost. Bush won. We'll see.
Yeah. Kennedy, what do you think?
I actually don't think that he bests Kamala, sorry. I think that she has the best strategy of all the Democrats right now. And, you know, she has a more impressive resume. And what you have to look at for 2020 is a candidate who's going to swing in the absolute opposite direction of President Trump. And if the Democrats don't get someone elected in 2020, they will in 24. And it will be an opposite person, opposite in temperament and, you know, certainly policy-wise. And I don't think Beto is as electric as people think he is. I think the seat was so incredibly important to try and flip the Senate for Democrats. And they were hoping they could do that that was a must-win race for them. And he didn't win despite all that money. It is an interesting time politically, but there are no sure things.
Right.
And I don't think that he has enough of an internal column to withstand a presidential campaign.
There are a lot of people who are going to run, and they're not going to stand aside for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren's not going to stand aside. Joe Biden's not going to stand aside. Cory Booker's not going to stand aside. Kamala Harris is not going to stand aside. There are a whole bunch of people who are not going to stand aside from somebody who ran and lost a race.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to stand aside. I mean, it's going to be a big fight, and we'll see which personality.
It would be easier for Democrats if they could, because that way they could really just take all of that money at the beginning.